instructor at the Braille Institute. Her guide dog, Anchorage, is under the table. And I'm going to give you the mic, and you can tell anybody everything about you that you want them to know, or don't want them to know, whatever.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, good. All right. And Sharon and I go back a long way because she was in my sensory awareness class at the Braille Institute in Anaheim. And a sensory awareness class is to help develop and educate your other senses when you are starting to lose some vision. So you do not have to be totally blind. You do not have to be legally blind if you are having a visual impairment. Come to my class. I teach on Wednesdays from 9:30 to 11:30 over at the Interim School, which is their church across the street from the new Braille Institute that is being constructed right now. So, a little bit about me. First of all, thank you again for inviting me. I'm very, very honored. I was here many years ago. I think when I first received, this is my third guide dog, Anchorage, and he is 8.5 now. So it's been at least over 6 years that I've been here. And and at that time, I was speaking about guide dogs for the blind, what it's like to have a guide dog, the guide dog lifestyle. Today, I would like to speak about a couple of things that I usually go over with my students. And the sensory awareness class is 13 weeks. Now, I really wanted to condense as much as I possibly could to give you some lesson, something to practice, something to take away, some sort of tip that might help all of you in some way with whatever it is that you're going through. We all go through a lot of stuff if we become, as we age, and sometimes it's visible, sometimes it's not visible. But nobody gets out of, not going through something. And aren't we lucky that we have all these resources here in Orange County? All of you that live here have this wonderful club that's been ongoing for many, many years. So thank you to all of you that have put this together for Leisure World and for me, bringing me to share with you some of my experiences so that maybe you could share it with others and everybody keep helping each other. Anyway, going back to the younger times when I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa. Some of you may know what RP, retinitis pigmentosa, is, and some of you may not. But it is a retinal eye disease that degenerates. And there's many different types of RP, as there's many different types of macular, and there's just the whole spectrum of eye diseases. When I was diagnosed with RP, I went to the Jules Stein Institute, and because I started losing the tennis balls at night, I thought, what's going on here? I thought maybe I had some night blindness. And so I went to an optometrist first to say, yes, indeed, you have night blindness, but I'm seeing something else that I feel the Jules Stein Institute might be able to embellish on. water. Oh my God, water. Water, that means that we're probably near a residential area, and that's close to where the guide dog lounge is. Let me follow this sensory cue, the sound of water. So we were walking towards the water, and I stop, and there is a lady that has a hose in her hand, and she's washing off the front porch, and I said, ma'am, could you please direct me to the guide dog school? Of course, honey. You need to go straight to the end of this corner, stop, turn left, cross the street, go to the end of that street, to the corner, stop, turn right, cross the street, and you'll be at the lounge. So what did I do? Repeat exactly what she said. And I said, okay, Lila, forward. And we're walking, and we're walking. And in that moment, I just leaned down and I hugged my guide dog, Lila. And I just started to cry. And I said, Lila, you and I will go anywhere we can in the whole wide world, and we'll be safe together. Well, I did make it back to the lounge, to let you know. And Lila's jumping up and down, and it was a life-changing moment for me. And the reason I wanted to tell you this story was because I don't want anyone that is sitting here today, whether you're hearing impaired, whether you're visually impaired, whether you're sighted, to ever identify yourself with a disability. You are first Linda. Linda, who's a mother, who has children, who does this, who does that, who has a guide dog, and just happens to be visually impaired. Okay? Please do not identify yourself as somebody like my friend blind Sharon. No. My Sharon, who happens to be visually impaired, if you wanted to share that, fine. But do not identify yourself with a disability. You have all your own qualities, your attributes, mother, grandmother, sister, friend, and continue just to live your life, but do it differently. And that's what I learned. I learned that I still could do anything I wanted to do, but learned how to do it differently. And that's when I went back to Braille with my guide dog, and I started to take the classes that taught me how to be blind, which sounds, kind of daunting. And I walked around listening to, the Kohns, and I thought to myself, gee, I still can see a little bit. Maybe I really shouldn't be here, but yes, I needed to be there. And I transitioned over years from being able to see a teeny tiny little bit to almost 6 years ago now, I have no vision at all. And I feel that because the transition seemed to be much easier for me was because I taught what it was that I knew. And I think you do learn when you teach. And I had never been a teacher before. So I'm saying, my purpose, I guess, in this world is to be able to share my experiences and give these lesson plans that they have created at the Braille Institute and my experiences to help others and give back. So saying that, and there's going to be a short time for questions and answers, and I don't know who the timekeeper is, but how am I doing?
You're doing great.
Okay. This weekend is a really important weekend. It's a big holiday. It's Passover, it's Easter. It's a very important holiday. So think about what holidays might mean to you. Think about holidays that always have people gathering together. Think about holidays that always have people eating together. Think about holidays that have strangers, families, friends, socializing with one another, celebrating traditions, whether it be food, whether it be singing, whether it be, anything that would be familiar from when it was when you were a very small person. And that you share the familiarities, or that you're invited to some places, someone's home that you might not know very well. Now, a lot of this that I'm talking about right now is called inclusion. Inclusion. When a person begins to lose their hearing, when a person begins to lose their vision, sometimes, just sometimes, they start excluding themselves. I heard, okay? And it's because you're afraid of not being the same, because you can't see the person that maybe you used to be. Maybe you were a social butterfly where you jump right in the group and say hello to everybody, and now you can't see anybody, so you're kind of on the outside. Maybe it's because when you go to somebody's home, they may say, well, where am I going to put Linda? Like I'm a lamp they're going to put on the table. Or maybe it's because you just sit there and then nobody comes over to say hello. Maybe it's all the above, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just you feeling sorry for yourself that it's not going to be the same. It's going to be different. All of that is true. And the word inclusion, when somebody invites you to their home, to the movies, to a clubhouse, to a meeting, it's your choice to accept or reject. That's what an invitation is. There's no judgment about it. It's just really up to you. But the more you don't accept, the more that you don't include yourself, the more that it becomes more difficult for you to start feeling like yourself again. Because maybe you don't want to feel like, oh, I'm a burden. I don't want to ask somebody, can you help me? I don't want to tell them that I'm visually impaired or I can't hear what you're saying. I just don't want to bother people. Well, I believe in the human race. Ever since I walked around with a cane, ever since I had my guide dog, sometimes I wish people wouldn't walk up to me because I've got places to go. I'm being stopped every, 100 feet to be asked about my guide dog. So, if you're not social, well, don't get a guide dog then. But what I'd like to this message is to say that you are able-bodied. Every single person of you are able-bodied. You're invited to a friend's home for Passover or Easter. You say to them on the phone, I'm going to come as long as you give me a job. Let me have a towel. I can wipe the dishes. Let me have a napkin. I can fold the napkins. You don't have to be seated, in a seat and just sit there. You can still do things. Right? A lot of you still can, stir a pot and make some really good meals. That's me. I'm just cooking without looking all the time. I used to be a kosher caterer. So I love cooking. And I love smelling. And I love tasting. And I love touching and hearing everything come out beautifully. I haven't used my eyes. I've used all my other senses. And all of you can practice that. And it's okay to say, I'm having a difficult time. I'd like you to take away this one word today, and the word is assertive. Now, to some people, assertive may mean, telling somebody, what you want and how to do it, and being aggressive. Well, assertive is not aggressive. When I say the word assertive, I'm being very polite. I'm letting somebody know what I want, what I need, and how I feel. That's being assertive politely. Because all your family, friends, and people around you, they just want to help. They may not be doing it the right way, but they want to help. And you can tell them, thank you very much. Could you please come on over to my right ear, because I can see better, I can hear better in my right ear than I can my left ear? Or can you come a little bit closer, maybe just arm's length, so I can see how pretty your face still is? Or, I'm not very comfortable being seated right here. I'd rather sit near a window. There's so many examples on how you can be assertive politely, and how you don't have to have people in your life take over when you go to a restaurant and have somebody order for you. You know what you want to eat, okay? And a waitress would come up to you at the table and ask your friend, what would she like to eat? Oh, that sounds familiar, huh? Well, it's up to you to say, I would like to order, and just like that, I would like to order, the prime rib. Hey, let's go to, a nice place, okay? So I'd like to order some prime rib. And I'd also like to ask you if you could say to the chef to please cut my meat up in the kitchen. And I'd like it rare, and okay, so how I would like it. Then it's served to me, and it's on my plate, and it's all cut up, and my husband is not leaning over my plate to cut my meat like a little child, and me feeling embarrassed that people are looking. That's what the restaurants are for. That's what, the service people are for. And don't you know, I have friends all the time when I order lamb chops and I ask them to cut it off the bone. They're saying the same thing. Yes, would you tell the chef to do that for me too? Same thing with the salad. I don't want a plate with wonderful, vegetables on it that's just going to get all over the table. I will ask my server, would you please have my salad be put in a bowl? Or ask, how is this salad prepared or served? Is it in a bowl or in a plate? And I'll always have it in a bowl because it's so much easier to eat out of a bowl, right? Yeah. So there's lots of little tips if you come to the Braille Institute to learn about home, housekeeping, how you do things and do it differently, how to assert yourself in a polite manner. People want to help. They just don't know how. And always say thank you very much to the ones that do help. All these wonderful sighted volunteers that have been here. And again, Sharon might not be able to see very well, but she could fold a napkin. So get here early, Sharon, next time. Yeah. Party time. Enjoy yourself. Have holiday spirit. Enjoy the smells of the ham. Okay, all the Jews here, close your ears. So the Easter time, you're having ham and you're having, what else? What else do you love to eat?
Leg of lamb.
Leg of lamb. Oh, I love it. Okay, what else are you eating that us Jews don't eat? Yeah? Okay, and then the Passover time, you're having all the wonderful what? Matzo ball soup and brisket, and some of you that like the gefilte fish. Yeah. So the parosas, you're smelling it, you're tasting it, you're touching it. You're so much a part of the holiday tradition. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. Accept an invitation and ask for help when you get there. And don't be embarrassed. because there's nothing to be embarrassed about how beautiful you are, how human you are, how you want to just keep going, because you're not done.